I'm just crossing Eurasia.
How much do you have?
Money.
Half a year?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
yeah, I'm sure. This
Just
is Uganda, so this
On the road.
on the road. It's my side. It's getting small. So
지금 오랜만에 자전거를 타고 있어요. 일단 오늘 서울로 캠핑을 갑니다. 일본인 친구 아키라라고, 그 친구가 지금 유라시아 횡단을 시작했어요. 일본에서 출발해서 며칠 전에 배 타고 부산 와가지고 지금 오늘 서울에 도착한다 해가지고 제가 그 난지 캠핑장 예약을 해놨어요. 근데 제가 사는 지역이 안산입니다. 안산. 지금은 안산천을 따라서 자전거를 쭉 타고 있는데요. 네, 안산천 아름답습니다. 이 안산천에서 한강을 만나려면 이제 안양천이나 그 과천 옆에 있는 거기 어디지? 뭐 어쨌든 거기로 가야 되는데 길이 없어요. 안산천에서 안양천으로 이어지는 길이 없어가지고 보통 지하철로 점프를 하는데 오늘은 평일입니다. 그래서 지하철을 탈 수가 없어가지고 일단은 안산천 끄트머리까지 가가지고 차도를 따라서 가야 될 것 같거든요. 그리고 오늘 제가 새 아이템을 장착했거든요. 이 서스펜션에 미쳤습니다. 제가 서스펜션 스템, 알리산, 그리고 서스펜션 안장, 네, 이거를 한번 테스트를 오늘 해볼 예정입니다. 네, 일단 갑시다. 자전거 길이 벌써 끊겼네요. 이렇게 짧을 수가. 저기가 마지막입니다. 이제 여기서 안양천까지 이 도로를 타고 가야 되는 것 같습니다. 이렇게 쭉. 야, 이 가방, 이거 제가 북남아메리카 종단할 때 썼던 펜이었거든요. 아직 쓸만하네요. 근데 비가 오면 안에 내용물이 젖더라고요. 젖을만도 해? 서울 신발. 차가 너무 많아. 차가 그냥 주차장이고만, 넘기게 전용차로가 아니고. 아 진짜 너무하네. 와, 자전거 뭐야 이거. 야, 여기는 수암동 수암동. 행복한 변화 새로운 시흥. 이쪽으로 가면 광명역이고 이쪽으로 가면 이제 안양천을 만나는 길입니다. 거의 다 왔어요. 여기까지 오는데 한 18km? 왜 하필 18km인지 모르겠는데 드디어 왔습니다. 여기는 안양천입니다. 저쪽으로 쭉 올라가면 서울입니다. 뭐야, 하루살이야 장구벌레야. 여기서 서울까지 한 20km 정도 될 거예요. 우측에 금천구청이 보이네요. 아, 여기 너무 좋다. 저기 월드컵 대교인가? 엘리베이터가 있을 것만 같은데? 대한민국 자전거의 나라. 야, 서울 살고 싶다. 서울에 집 사줄 사람. 여기는 난지 캠핑장 D 사이트입니다. 이렇게 여기를 골랐어요. 자갈 위에 텐트를 쳐야 된다고 하네요. 일단은 아키라라는 친구를 기다려야 하기 때문에, 이거 보이시나요? 이게 뭐냐면 의자예요. 의자. 이게 어떻게 의자가 되는 거냐면 짠 하고 이렇게 의자가 되어버리는 모습. 아이고, 아 이거 진짜 오랜만에 왔네. 이 맛이지. 이 맛이야. 여기에 맥주 하나. 일단은 여기 캠핑장이 팔찌를 주더라고요. 그 팔찌가 없으면은 여기 입장이 안 돼가지고 제가 이거를 갖다 주러 일단 나가야 됩니다. 여기 말이겠지. 웰컴 드링크. 논 알코올밖에 없어? 맥주가 논 알코올밖에 없네요. Hi Akira.
Hi, Wingy.
Welcome to Korea.
Yeah, see you again. Yeah, we haven't seen 2 years?
2 years.
2 years, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What did
yeah.
you do
Well,
after Patagonia?
After Patagonia, I cycled Africa and Himalayas,
Himalaya, Nepal.
India, Pakistan. Yeah, I cycled.
So you never stopped cycling.
Yeah. I keep cycling.
And what are you doing now?
I'm just crossing Eurasia
Eurasia.
and go to Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Yeah.
From Tokyo.
From Tokyo,
Yeah. Busan,
Busan.
Seoul,
Incheon,
and
Qingdao,
Qingdao.
and going to Mongolia,
Uh-huh.
and going to few Central Asia countries,
Yeah.
and go to Europe. This is my bike.
The same bike.
Yeah, same bike. We met. I cycle in Patagonia.
Yeah. But what happened is your
It's
front back.
damaged
Is
here.
it bond? What is
cement?
Cement.
Yeah, it's strong bond. Using this.
So you have a much more stuff than Patagonia.
Yeah,
When you was there, you only have the 2 bag.
yeah.
You only have the 2 bags.
I have more stuff now.
Yeah.
But
What is this?
this is for fire.
Fire.
For making fire.
So you want to cook here or you want to go to the restaurant?
Talk about dinner?
Dinner or lunch also? You have lunch?
Not yet.
Okay.
So
Where did you sleep yesterday?
it's just riverside.
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 There was no people?
There's many fisher.
Ah, Fisher. You bought new pannier bag or it's same one?
No, I bought this one.
You bought it.
You got there's that's why it's many holes. So
Me too.
oh, you using?
I want to buy a new one.
You should buy.
I should buy it.
You should buy.
What do you have in this bag? It's empty.
Yeah,
Why do you carry it?
because I don't know. Maybe
You have more item.
yeah. Future.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
is this? Why this is? Okay.
It is also other work. Do you know Daiso supermarket? Today I bought this.
From Daiso.
Yeah, today just
It's nice.
for the water. 3,000
3,001.
3,000 won. It's very cheap.
And can I ask something?
Yeah,
How much do you have?
money.
Yeah, money.
For this trip, almost 5.
You can say yen.
50만 yen.
고주마.
Yeah.
500,000.
Yeah. It's half a year.
Half a year. Half a year? Only half a year. How many kilometers?
20,000 kilometers.
20,000 kilometers. Half a year.
20. Kilometers.
Half a year?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Every day 100 kilometers cycling, I will be reaching Portuguese in half a year. But I've already cycled 1,000 kilometers, more, 1,500 kilometers.
But it is very easy road.
Yeah.
Japan, Korea.
Yeah, easy ride.
Europe is also easy.
Yeah, its problem it's just the middle
Yeah.
between China, Mongolia, and Central
Yeah,
Asia.
there are a lot of mountains.
And yeah, if I reach Turkey,
Yeah,
after that it's very
easy.
easy.
Okay.
But problem is getting money.
Mm.
Europe is expensive.
Anyway,
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you want to pitch the tent first and take
Just
a rest?
Here.
You didn't. You didn't.
Just sleeping back. Sleeping back, it's good.
So you don't want to pitch the tent?
That's it enough. Sleeping back is enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take some rest.
Yeah.
I'm going to pitch the tent for keep our stuff.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. You can drink it, the tap water. It's possible to drink.
I don't know. I just thirsty. What looks?
Okay, can I taste?
No more course. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
good.
It's good.
It's good water.
Same with Japan. African people face looks fighting.
Angry.
Ugly and fighting. Always. In India it's also.
Really?
Yeah, India people is fighting every day.
Okay. But Japan and Korea
looks peaceful
peaceful.
because there's no fighting.
No fighting. And did you shower in Korea?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Yeah.
It's the first time to take a shower?
From I start Tokyo.
From Tokyo to here?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a shower in the ferry from to Osaka, from Japan to Busan. But I was so tired. I was sleeping and I forgot to take a shower. Yeah.
Okay.
The water drink
Yeah.
directly from comes out.
Wow.
So hot, I keep drinking a lot water, but not stock in the body. It's just run out. And I have kept drink like this 2 weeks. After that, I fell down.
You fell down.
Too much drink, so low how to say, low sugar level,
Yeah.
low oxygen level.
Okay.
So I fell down.
The middle of nowhere?
This
Just
is Uganda, so there's
on the road.
on the road. It's my side. It's getting small, so like this.
Okay.
So one Uganda guy, he take
You.
me and my bicycle
Yeah.
to the police,
Yeah.
and he walked 20 minutes or 30 minutes with me
With
and,
you.
and my bike.
Wow.
He's very strong.
So strong.
And the police called NGO,
NGO.
the public
Yeah.
health care company, or
Yeah.
they called Red Cross. Super emergency. 2 ambulance came. Two. One is for my bicycle. One is for me. So I put the oxygen and mask, and I don't know, put some medicine. I don't. It's big one.
Yeah.
How to say big? That's
주사기.
주사기. Yeah. 주사기. How to say in English?
I don't know.
Why you know?
It's same
주사기,
word.
주사기. But big 주사기.
Okay.
I put the energy,
Yeah.
the carbohydrate,
Okay.
and go to hospital.
Mm.
In the village hospital, there's I'm also bad situation, but there's more bad situation people. Almost many dying people there
In the hospital.
in the village hospital.
Because malaria.
I don't know, malaria or many coughing. Old people is many.
Well,
I-
you got the malaria. Mm.
I was malaria, but there's more bad people, but they don't have money. They just waiting
And
this, so
they are waiting for dying.
yeah, they're waiting to die, and their parents, their families coming, and they're crying. So,
Wow.
but I have insurance.
You have insurance?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I could go to the capital of Uganda.
Okay.
I went to Kampala.
Uh-huh.
There's a hospital for foreigners.
Mm.
I just went to the room for only two person, but almost private.
Okay.
And many medicine. It's too much medicine, I think. And food coming 3 times per day.
How many days did you in the hospital?
5 days.
5 days.
Me and the other person is the general of the Uganda.
Okay.
General commander of
General.
Uganda. Yeah. General is injured at the border of Ethiopia. There's a fighting.
Yeah. It's very dangerous.
His name is Mukasa. He's very strong. I have to fight bicycle box to go back to Japan.
Yeah.
So I asked him. He called his yeah.
Buha?
You know, his soldier. Called his soldier. And soldier finding box in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, finding box for me. It was fast, very fast. Africa is always slow, but that timing it's very fast. The day I back to Japan, I was still in the hospital.
Yeah.
I go to the basement of the hospital.
Yeah.
This big car was waiting for me.
It's Mukasa called the
Because
car?
his soldier is parking my bicycle in the case, and I go to Kampala airport, and I'm back to Japan.
So you back to Japan from Uganda?
Yeah, Kampala.
Wow.
But-
Sorry to hear that. Very interesting story.
But I'm back to Japan. I still had a fever. I slept 1 month in Japan.
You sleep 1 month.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't move. I can't move. And my weight is 10 kilogram down. I'm like skiing, almost skiing, and well, I have maybe bacteria. I get the bacteria in my stomach, so I can't eat so much. I only eat the
Little bit.
soft food. I can't eat meat. So my mental also dying. Yeah, that's good memory. Yeah, Uganda.
That's crazy. So you get the malaria like almost 2 months.
Yeah, almost 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you knew it, but you don't have money to go to the hospital or...
Yeah, no. I get fever, but I didn't know it was just fever. Because I can run, I can cycle,
Okay.
but I drink a lot.
After 2 weeks and you fell down,
Yeah, fever.
fever and your sight is getting dark.
Yeah. Getting small.
Wow, that's very interesting.
You are no diarrhea in Africa.
So many times.
Yeah, so many times.
So
Yeah.
many times. Because the food is not good, the water is not good.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
Patagonia, we cook by ourselves,
Mm.
boiling water and cooking by ourselves. And
Patagonia was much better.
yeah.
Very organized.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
organized.
very organized. And wild. And
Yeah.
nature.
Nature.
And people. and food. Everything is so nice.
Everything so nice. Tanzania is good.
Yes, good.
There's many fruits. I like fruits.
You like fruit?
But fruits is expensive in Korea or Japan.
Japan.
Mango, papaya.
Yeah. Because it's all from the other country.
Yeah.
Even the other fruits
Yeah.
which the harvest our country, like apple,
Yeah.
is also very expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Cost more in here to harvesting.
Yeah.
I saw many the vinyl house. They are adjusting the temperature
Yeah.
and the moisture level.
Yeah.
So they're using many
More
resource.
resource. Yeah.
But in Africa, just take from the mountain, just put and leave it, and they're getting big. And
Garlic.
ugali, like rice, boiling rice.
Ah, Shima.
Shima, yeah.
Yeah. The Tanzania, Kenya, maybe ugali.
Yeah.
And Zambia.
Zambia, it's shima.
Shima. Yeah.
That's just for the hungry. It's cheap food.
No nutrition.
Nutrition, yeah. Nutrition is almost water. That was Africa.
That
Yeah.
is Africa. Okay, you can check to the shower.
Yeah.
And after shower, we can go to the
Center.
Yeah, center. 자, 여기는 명륜진사갈비입니다. 참이슬을 먹어보고 싶다고 해가지고 참이슬 시켰습니다. 근데 제가 먹고 싶어서 시킨 건 아닙니다. 네. 난파이.
Kampai.
Welcome to Korea.
Thank you.
Enjoy the Seoul.
Okay. I'm enjoying.
여기는 홍대 거리입니다. 소화 좀 시킬 겸 걷고 있습니다. 캠핑장에 돌아왔습니다. 깜깜하네요. 건방와 is good night.
Yeah, no.
No?
Konbanwa is good evening.
Good evening. So how can I say good night?
Oyasumi.
오야스미 everyone.
みんなおやすみ
민다 오야스미. Morning. You sleep well?
cold
Yeah, it's cold.
yeah.
캠핑장을 나왔어요. 밥 먹으러 가려고요.
おはよう
하요. Good morning.
Good morning
오랜만에 보는 모습이네. 아주 늠름해.
just
Yeah.
feel the water
It's water.
and boiling
Yeah.
ah it's right
Finish.
delicious
Enjoy.
yeah hot good
벚꽃.
hot good
벚꽃.
hot good
꽃.
good
꽃.
hot good
벚꽃.
hot good difficult
좋은 기회로 자전거용 블랙박스를 협찬받게 되었습니다. 요즘 자전거에도 블랙박스를 많이 쓴다고 하더라고요. 그래서 관심 있는 분들이 더 있으실 것 같아서 제가 제품을 하나 더 받아서 구독자분들께 나눔하려고 합니다. 마음 같아서 모두 드리고 싶지만 딱 한 분만 추첨해서 원하시는 주소지로 직접 보내드리겠습니다. 참여를 원하신다면 댓글 남기실 때 자전거 블랙박스라고 꼭 적어주시길 바랍니다.